So Bejernik called this extract as Contagium vivum fluidum or infectious living fluid. The next we shall consider the properties of virus. So in this first we shall consider the living properties of virus. Means why we can say that viruses are living. So viruses have nucleic acids. Viruses have nucleic acids. They may be RNA or DNA. Then these viruses, they reproduce inside the host. They can reproduce or they can replicate or they can multiply inside the host. So these two properties indicate that viruses are living. Then non-living, viruses are acellular or non-cellular. So viruses are acellular or non-cellular, means viruses are not cells. This is one non-living feature. Then second one, they are inert crystals, means inactive crystals or inactive particles when they are outside the body of host. So these are the properties which indicate virus is non-living. Then virus is called obligate. Virus is called obligate parasite because it is called obligate parasite because it requires host to reproduce or replicate. Then next we will consider the two types of viruses. One is the TMV, that is tobacco mosaic virus, and second one is the bacteriophage. So bacteriophage is a bacterial virus. So bacteriophage is a virus that infects bacteria. Now this virus has different parts. So this is the diagram of this bacteriophage. So this is the diagram of a bacteriophage and these are the parts. So head, collar, sheath, tail fibers and spike. These are the parts of a bacteriophage. So this is a type of virus. So bacteriophage is a DNA virus, means it has DNA as genetic material. Then another type of virus is the tobacco mosaic virus. which is the TMV. So tobacco mosaic virus. This virus infects the tobacco plants. Now this virus is composed of two components. So the first component is the protein coat. The first component is the protein coat, and the second one is the nucleic acid. So TMV is composed of two main components, the protein coat and the nucleic acid. Now this protein coat, this protein coat is called capsid. So this capsid, it is composed of small units or small subunits. They are called capsomeres, right? So the protein coat called capsid is composed of small subunits called capsomeres. Then the nucleic acid that is present in the TMV, it is RNA. So it is a RNA virus. So this RNA is protected by this protein coat. So that is the structure of a tobacco mosaic virus. Then after this, we shall consider the another type of virus we can call it. It is the viroid. So viroid, plural viroids, they were discovered by Diner. So Diner discovered viroids. So viroids are again infectious agents which cause diseases in organisms. One disease caused by viroid is potato spindle tuber disease. So potato spindle tuber disease is caused by viroid. Now why these particles are called viroids? They are called viroids because they have a free RNA which is without the protein coat. So protein coat is absent. So there are simply RNA particles. Because of this, these particles are called viroids. So viroids have free RNA without protein coat. Then the last part is lichens, singular lichen. So it is a symbiotic association lichens represent symbiotic association between algae and fungi. In lichens, the algal part is called phycobiont, whereas the fungal part is called mycobiont. Now this phycobiont, that is algal part, is autotrophic. It can synthesize the food by photosynthesis. Whereas the mycobiont, so mycobiont is the fungal part, it cannot synthesize the food, right? It is heterotrophic. So mycobiont is heterotrophic. It depends on the algal part for food. Here algae obtain shelter from fungi. So both the partners are benefited, or both the organisms are benefited, because one gets food, another one gets shelter, that is living place. So this type of symbiotic association between two organisms which are mutually benefited, they are called lichens. Now lichens, they can be called as indicators of pollution. Indicators of pollution. Why they are called indicators of pollution? They are called indicators of pollution because they help to determine the levels of pollution. Now, for example, if there are lichens that are growing on trees, see lichens that grow on the branches of trees. Suddenly, if the number of lichens decrease, right? When lichens decrease in number, it indicates air pollution is very high.